put together the Plurivac already. So remember, you're gonna put your 20 cc's in. It's already gonna have it, so you're just gonna have to verbalize it. Put your 20 cc's in. You have to explain these different containers and the measuring and what each one's for. Hook it all up, and then we'll have it ready to hook to our chest tube, okay? And then we need our supplies. So we're gonna open our sterile field. And so for you guys that are presenting, these guys are just like you. When you came into this term, you're like, sterile field, what's that about? So remember that you're not gonna put your arm over the field once we start making it, or reach over it anyway and want it to stay in front of you. So we can go like this, and then we can go like this, and this, and then on this one in particular, purple is not sterile, blue is. And then our bucket is sterile. That's what we're using. And then I'm gonna put my supplies in, and I'm gonna remember that I am gonna need whatever I want first, last. So I'm gonna do that last. So I know I'm not gonna use my hemostats until I'm sterile with my sterile gloves and the patient's draped. So I'm gonna put those on the bottom. And if I was explaining, I would show students how to, or anyone learning, how to start to pull it away. We're not taking apart the seal, we're taking the other end that has the flaps. I always just take my thumb and put my fingers underneath, help make sure I don't ever touch past that blue line right there, because if I do, then it's contaminated. Open away from the field, dump, and then come back again. Same with the next thing. I'm not over the field, I'm away. I'm gonna dump and then step back. I put the curved ones in last of the three because I know I'm gonna need those before I need the other two. Uh-oh.
Something's happening.
Number 10.
There you go. Flip and dump.
There you go.
Dump. And then my drapes. They probably have towels actually in the sterile towels, but we have sterile drapes. So open away, over, dump, and back. Not touching the blue. Open, dump, back. Open, dump, back. And then, I guess I'm gonna put the 9s on because the 8s are gonna be too small. And I'm gonna actually put my sterile gloves here because I don't wanna have to mess with that. And then rings, jewelry, nothing on, and then sleeves up, or yeah. And I would have my hair, I'll be just so hot, I can't do it, but the bouffant cap and the mask. So, before I did all that. So now that I'm got all my supplies ready, I'm ready to get sterile. So I'm gonna go to the AvaGuard, which is the foot pump by the sink. And that's the sterile wash that you use to get your hands clean before you actually put sterile on. So you're gonna pump that in your hands, get your fingers, fingertips and your nails, and then you take it like this and just put it around each finger and the other one. So you're getting everything nice and clean, and then up the arm all the way to the elbow. And now you're gonna maintain sterile position from this point on. So you don't ever put your back to your sterile field, and you don't do this with your arms or this or anything in between or that. I gotta stay right here. This is the box for the sterile field. It's just how it is. This, everybody knows in the OR or wherever you are. So now I'm gonna open this, which I should have done in the beginning, but oh well, too late. I guess I'm okay. So that's open. I'm not using it for sterile field. I don't need this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. So I'm gonna grab my sterile gown, and you'll notice that when you're grabbing it, there's flaps here and here, and kind of like a smiley face. If you look at that, that's gonna be pointed towards you. You're going to make sure you're in a place where you won't contaminate your gown, and you're gonna let it fall in front of you, and then just put your arms in as much as you can without extending them, and then somebody's gonna come behind you, your assistant. You're gonna keep your hands like this. They're gonna pull it up over. Never, ever, ever take your fingers out. You wanna make your fluff like this. You can have your claw hands now. Tie me, please. If you let your fingers out, you're no longer sterile and you'd have to start over again.
Go back. There you go.
Okay, so now I'm gonna put my sterile gloves on. I can touch this because I'm sterile now. And the other thing you have to remember now, you can't touch anything. So, butt out. Thanks everybody, butt out of your space. Put my gloves on. Now when you put your gloves on, you actually want them to point towards you, the fingers to point towards you, and you're gonna do thumb to thumb. So it's kind of weird to get used to at first, but see, the thumb is here and my thumb is here. So thumb to thumb, pointing towards you like that, because the idea is you're gonna grab the end of your glove and then take this side and pull it over. And yeah, just shoot your hands in right like that.
That works.
Right like this.
Perfect.
And then once it's in, you can't do any adjusting with this right now. So you're just gonna leave it like that, even if though it's annoying. And you're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So we're gonna go thumb to thumb, pointed towards me. Hopefully I won't drop them on the floor at this point. And so I kind of got a little grip of the end there. And then in a perfect world, what should really happen is that you can pull this over your hand like that and then just go right in. So at this point now, you're gonna have to pull your gown down some, and then you can just put your hands in and finish that, because now you're sterile. Like so, and then do the same thing with the other one. Your gown's always gonna be too high up in there, so you can just use that to get it back down to where you want it to be.
So we can touch the blue with our sterile gloves?
Yeah,
On
you're
our-
sterile.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're all sterile right now. Yep.
Come on, Ruthie.
So now I'm sterile, good to go, okay? So now I'm gonna, my patient's already prepped, so I'm gonna get my drapes. You just wanna pick up your drape and then take it like this and find the long ends, let it drop, and then go like this.
Yeah, I gotta try that front.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that too. We're gonna tie the front, and these things just like this. Yeah, so I'm ideally needing to leave a space for the chest tube to be inserted. And yes, if you can tie me, please. You're gonna just, hold on. You can only touch the color, and you're gonna give and then the person helping you is gonna touch the white. So go ahead, I'm allowed to touch this. The person has to go around you, not you around them. Then he's gonna keep holding onto the card. I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna pull it. Ta-da. So now I'm gonna take my next. I'm gonna do the same thing. So find the long end, let it open. We're just gonna say right here is the spot where our chest tube's gonna go in. And again, make sure you don't touch. So we'll just say that's our spot of insertion right there, nice and clean. So so the curved hemostats are the ones that are used to actually inserting. So at this point, you can just show on the skeleton where you're going to be, the incision would be 5th intercostal space, mid-axillary. The incisions made, you use these hemostats to go in and help widen up the space. And then we would be done with those and they'd be not sterile anymore. And then we're gonna take these two, and if I can get the chest tube, please.
Open.
We're gonna take this in and clamp it, and this is be sterile, so I'm allowed to touch it. And then you're gonna clamp this other end, because once you put the chest tube in, all the contents are gonna start coming out. Put it into the 5th intercostal space in the skeleton, up for air, down for fluid or blood. Then once it's in, you'll unconnect this, undo, not that, sorry. Hook it here. You have to undo the top one because else it's not gonna be able to go on the patient. Make sure all the holes are inside the patient. Hook it up to the Plurivac. Tape it super, super good so nothing becomes disconnected. Undo your hemostat, and then you'll go into troubleshooting. The end. Okay? Yeah, when you first put it in, you will. Yep. Okay. Get me out of this thing.